Now that we've finished designing the planner in Canva, and before we move on to adding hyperlinks in InDesign, I'll export the template as a PDF and place it in the template folder. Change the InDesign interface. When we open the InDesign program, the interface might look different for each user. To make it easier to work on the Samsorcreative template, we will change the InDesign interface to the following layout. At the top you'll see the Master Pages panel with the Paragraph Styles panel positioned right beside it, and at the bottom, we find the Pages panel. To achieve this specific screen layout, it's necessary to eliminate all panels on the right and rebuild the interface accordingly. To arrange the interface in InDesign as desired, here's what to do. Navigate to the Window menu at the top. Select Layers from the list. Drag the Layers panel to the far right side of your screen to place it there. Add the Pages panel from the Window menu. Drag this panel and position it at the bottom of the Layers panel. Similarly, from the Window menu, select Styles and then choose Paragraph Styles to add this panel. Drag the Paragraph Styles panel next to the Pages panel. Now, add the Properties panel and position it to the right of the Layers panel. Now let's adjust how the parent pages and pages are displayed. Navigate to the Parent Pages panel, right-click anywhere inside the panel, and choose Panel Options from the context menu. In the Panel Options dialog box, uncheck the Show Vertically option to display pages horizontally. To organize pages by categories, right-click on any page within the Pages panel. From the menu that appears, select View Pages and then by Alternate Layout. This setup will organize all pages according to categories. We have pages named Daily 1, Daily 2, Weekly 1, Weekly 2, and we can manage the elements of these pages through their respective parent pages located at the top. The Daily 1 parent page governs the elements of all Daily 1 pages. Any changes or additions made to the Daily 1 parent page will be reflected across all Daily 1 pages. The same goes for Daily 2 parent page, it controls Daily 2 pages. Also, Weekly 1 pages is systematically handled by their respective parent page. This approach is also applied to the management of other pages. Any changes you make to this parent page will show up on all the pages. As for the parent page hyperlinks, they are not currently applied to any specific pages. Instead, there are some hyperlinks that I will need to use later in my project. After discussing pages and parent pages, let's move on to layers. In this template, we have 4 layers. The first one, colored in red, is where we deal with hyperlinks. Whenever we need to edit or work on hyperlinks, we select the hyperlinks layer first. Now let's move on to the text layer, colored in blue. This layer handles all the text, titles, page numbers, and sometimes even hyperlinks. Basically, this layer is where I place all the text that needs to stand out above the page images. The template images layer contains the original design of the Digitalplanner as it was in Canva before any changes were made to it. Finally, the PDF layer represents the new Digitalplanner design which is built upon the original Canva template. To view the new design, just click on the eye icon next to the template images layer. The old design will disappear, and you'll see the new updated design which is in the PDF layer. Adding hyperlinks to the home page. I'll set up hyperlinks for my home page, starting with the top tabs. Before we begin, let's make sure we're in the hyperlinks layer. From the toolbar on the left, click on the rectangle frame tool. Next, draw a rectangle above the Home tab. Right-click with your mouse. From the menu that appears, you can create a new hyperlink directly from here. Make sure that the Link to option is set to Page. For the page destination, type to where the home page is located. Under Zoom setting, select Fit in Window, and then click OK to create the hyperlink. To set up the hyperlink for the Calendar tab, I duplicate the previous rectangle and drag it over the Calendar tab. Then, I edit the hyperlink by right-clicking and selecting Edit Hyperlink. In the window that appears, I change the page to 3. This process is similar for the Recipes tab and Notes. I duplicate the rectangle frame, adjust the measurements, and then set the hyperlink to the appropriate page number. I'll also duplicate this rectangle frame and edit the hyperlink to set up Your Mission in Life and Year at a Glance buttons. For the Notes and Recipes buttons, I'll copy the rectangle frame from the previous top tabs and adjust its dimensions to match those of the buttons. Now let's move on to creating monthly hyperlinks in the side tab on the right. Before we start, it's important to confirm that we are working within the hyperlinks layer. From the toolbar on the left, choose the Type tool to draw a rectangle above the January tab. Using the Selection tool and holding down the Alt key on your keyboard, duplicate the text rectangle 12 times. Next, I'll link these text boxes together. Click on the output and the loaded cursor will appear. Position it above the second text box and click inside to link it with the previous one. Repeat this for the remaining rectangle text frames. To learn more about linked text frames, I've created a video tutorial on how to make a weekly planner, where I explain the technique in detail. You can find the links in the description box below the video. There's another method to save time and quickly create 12 linked text frames. Choose the Type tool and draw a rectangle that spans all 12 buttons from January to December. While holding the mouse button, press the up arrow key repeatedly until 12 text frames are created. To adjust the spacing between these text frames, hold down Ctrl and use the up and down arrow keys on the keyboard. I will follow the same steps with the monthly overview. Create a rectangle that spans the entire space from January to December. Press the up arrow key 3 times and the right arrow key 4 times. Use the Control key along with the arrow keys to adjust the spacing between text frames until you achieve a satisfactory result. Now I have a total of 12 linked text frames. I can use the same technique for the monthly finance overview. However, because the number of text frames is identical, I'll duplicate the text frames I prepared earlier since they are already linked and set up. At the Hyperlinks parent page, you'll find a range of pre-made hyperlinks ready for use. Right now I need the M1 hyperlinks. I will copy and paste them into the linked text frames of the monthly overview. I've observed that the text isn't visible because the size of the box isn't sufficient to accommodate its length. To resolve this, I'll adjust the text size, making it smaller until it fits perfectly within the box. Use Ctrl+A to ensure all text is selected. Then, navigate to the horizontal scale tool and gradually reduce it until the text becomes visible. The key is to make sure the black highlight around the selected text matches the button size where we want to add the hyperlinks. That's why I'll make some changes to the text. Select all the text using Ctrl+A on your keyboard. Navigate to the horizontal scale tool and reduce the text size to 5%. Increase the text size until it fits within a single text box. Then, expand the text width using the horizontal scale until the black highlight covers the tab sizes. However, we see that the black highlight of the selection isn't centered properly. To fix this, I will center the text inside the text frame. So I'll start by selecting all the text frames. Then, I'll navigate to the Properties panel, scroll down to the Text Frame section, and click on the Options button. In the Options menu, I'll set the vertical justification alignment to center. To ensure the text is centered within the text frame and that the black highlight covers the button, I will hide the hyperlink layer. The monthly overview hyperlinks. Similarly, for the monthly overview, we'll paste the hyperlinks copied from the parent hyperlinks. Then, I will select all and adjust either the horizontal scale or font size until the text becomes visible. Once the text is visible, I will use the vertical justification option to center it inside the text frame, as we did before. Next, I will adjust the font size or horizontal scale to make sure the black highlight of the selected text covers the entire button. You can ensure that the black highlight is positioned correctly each time by hiding the hyperlinks layer. Moving on to the monthly finance section, I will replicate these steps. I'll head over to the hyperlinks parent page, grab the monthly 2 hyperlinks. Drop them into the linked text frames, then adjust the font size and horizontal scale until the text becomes visible. Or first, center the text inside the text frame using the vertical justification property. It doesn't matter if you paste the text first and then center it, or center it using the text frame options before pasting. Lastly, adjust the size and horizontal scale until the black highlight covers the entire button area. Don't worry, these hyperlink words won't appear in the PDF. Once the digital planner is complete, I'll position the hyperlinks layer at the bottom of the stacking order. This way, its contents will still be saved in the file but won't be visible because they'll be pushed to the back.